The fossil fuel is the greatest source of energy. These fossil fuels are produced naturally and takes millions of years to produce. These remains deep into the earth, and when it is used, so it needs to dug out from the earth's surface. So these fossil fuels have various examples like coal, petroleum, oil, natural gas, etc. Now let's start with the formation of the fossil. The story of the formation of the fossil fuels begins millions of years back, even before the existence of dinosaurs. It is said that when the dinosaurs came into existence, then before that there are many plants that survive on the surface of ocean. When these plants die, then they get settled down into the ocean and get buried deep into the earth, and thus they produce some amount of energy. This energy is basically called oil and natural gas. Thus the buried plants or the animals are the source of energy for oil and the natural gas. These are produced naturally and it takes millions and millions of years. Generally, it is calculated it takes 650 million years. Now, if I am going to talk about coal, coal is also a fossil fuel. Then in the case of coal, the coal is also formed by the natural process, but it is formed by the remains of large plants and trees. When these large plants and trees, they get buried deep into the earth, then due to enormous heat and pressure of the earth, it got converted into coal. So the coal is also a part of the fossil fuels which are produced in millions and millions of years. Okay, now if I am going to talk about that, can we recover it? Okay, can we renew it again? No. Why? Because it has already taken a process of 650 million years. Now, if we start to recover it, then it will again take millions of years. So it is not possible in our lifespan. So that's why these fossil fuels are also called non-renewable sources. Now let's talk about the important fossil fuel, that is coal. The coal is basically made up of various compounds like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. It also contains small traces of nitrogen and sulfur in it. When the coal is burned, then it produces enormous amount of heat energy which is very valuable to us. The coal is used in various applications like in order to generate heat energy, electricity, oil, etc. There is another alternative of coal, that is coke. This coke contains 98% of carbon. That is, when we burn the coke, it produces less smoke and large amount of heat energy. So coke is expensive as compared to coal, but it is much more refined form of energy as compared to coal. Petroleum. As the word suggests, this petroleum comes from the Greek word. In Greek, the petroleum stands for some useful meaning, that is petra and oleum. Petra means rock and oleum means oil. When we combine these two words, then it makes petroleum, and the meaning in Greek is rock, oil. Now, as we all are familiar with the word petroleum, now in this chapter we are going to study about the various composition, the formation and the extraction of petroleum. First, let's see how this liquid looks like. The petroleum is basically a dark colored viscous liquid. What is this viscous? The viscous means the thick and sticky liquid. If you have ever saw or felt the petrol, then you can see that it is not a very smooth liquid like water. Basically, it is somewhat thicky liquid and it is thick also. So, the petroleum is a viscous liquid. This petroleum is lighter than water. If you try to mix the petrol and the water, then the petrol eventually floats over the water. So, it is lighter than water. This petroleum is not produced artificially, but it is produced by natural process, and it is found deep into the earth's surface. So, let's see the formation of petroleum. The petrol is basically formed by the buried dead organisms. These dead organisms, when they get buried and get trapped in between the non-porous rocks. What are the non-porous rocks? The non-porous, as the word suggests, that is, it is not porous. It does not allow to filter out the water or the liquid from it. So that means that these non-porous rocks, once the water or the liquid gets trapped inside it, then it does not filter out, it will remain inside it. So when these dead organisms get buried deep into the earth's surface between the two layers of the non-porous rocks, then in millions and millions years it gets decomposed, and due to this decomposition and the action of anaerobic bacteria, this gets converted into the petrol. So how the petrol is formed? The petrol is basically formed by the decomposition of the dead organisms. Now this petrol gets converted by anaerobic bacterial action, but in it the heat and the pressure of the earth also plays a very vital role. This petrol is kept under the heavy pressure of the earth and in the excessive heat temperature of the earth's surface. So when the oil is extracted, it needs to be extracted from very deep earth's surface. Now let's see the composition of petroleum. The petroleum is basically a liquid. In it there are various of components present. If I am talking about, so I am talking about the solid, liquid and gaseous hydrocarbons. So the petroleum is basically made up of hydrocarbons, in which the carbon plays a major part. The carbon is 85% while hydrogen is only 14%. Apart from that, there are some other components as well, like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur. These are present in very small quantity. As we all know that the demand of petrol is increasing day by day. Due to the increase of industrialization and as the civilization is increasing at a fast pace, the petrol demand is increasing at a fast rate. In order to meet this demand, the extraction of petrol is also taking place at a faster rate. So now let's see how the petrol is extracted. Basically the petrol is extracted from very deep layers of the earth's surface. How we get into these deep layers of the earth's surface? Basically we are going to drill the holes into the earth crust. These holes are called oil wells. So the petrol is extracted from the oil wells. Now let's see the procedure one by one. First, the hole is drilled deep into the earth's surface. Now, if the petrol is found beneath the earth's surface or at the layer of the earth crust, then that is called the oil well. Now, due to excessive pressure, the petrol comes out along with the natural gas, because the natural gas is present above the petroleum. So when we extract out the petroleum, so first the natural gas comes out and after that the petrol comes out with heavy pressure. Now, how we came to know that there is an oil well inside a particular area? Basically, it occurs by the survey. The survey is based on the probability. The probability says that in this particular area or beneath the earth's surface, the oil is present. And based on this survey, the oil well is dug. Now, the probability is so much minimum that if 100 wells are dug, then there are chances that only one well contains the oil. So, that means the oil extraction process is a very complicated. After extraction, it doesn't mean that the work stops here. No, if the petrol that comes out, the main problem of the petrol is the storage and the transportation. So, billions of rupees are spent to store and to transport the petrol from one place to the another. Now, the raw crude oil or the raw oil which comes out from beneath the earth's surface, this is first purified. How it is purified? There is a proper process for it, and this process is called fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is a process by which the oil is purified. In this, it consists of a distilled long tube. When this crude oil is inserted into this long tube, then they are heated. Now, the crude oil contains the mixture of different components. These different components have different boiling points. When the crude oil is heated, then the different components gets boiled according to their different boiling points. Now, this distilled tube consists of the outlets at every interval. Based on their boiling point, these are withdrawn from their particular outlets. Like for example, in this figure, you can see that the crude oil is inserted from beneath, the outlet is there at the bottom. Now when it is heated, then the lighter components, okay, the lighter components with lower boiling point exist out from the outlet which is above the column, and the heavier components with high boiling point exit out with the outlet which is given at the beneath of the column. Now this is the process which shows the fractional distillation. After this fractional distillation, various different components are extracted, which we call fractions. These fractions are basically diesel, which is used in heavy vehicles. It is also kerosene oil. It is also the gasoline, which is used as a fuel oil. Apart from that, we have LPG, the liquefied petroleum gas, and soap.